Mysteries of the Crimson Veil. It was a foggy evening in the quiet town of Hollowstone, where ancient trees lined cobblestone streets, and whispers of forgotten legends drifted on the wind. Among these legends, none were as tantalizing or as terrifying as the tale of the Crimson Veil. Long ago, before Hollowstone had a name, there was a bride, a woman of unparalleled beauty known only as Evelyn. On her wedding night, she wore a veil unlike any other. It wasn't white, as was custom, but crimson, woven from a rare silk that shimmered like blood in the light of the full moon. This was a symbol of a pact she had made, a promise whispered in shadows. The story begins when Evelyn's fiancé, Lord Cadwyn, a nobleman of great power, went missing 2 weeks before their wedding. Desperate, she ventured into the Forest of Ebon, a cursed place feared by all, where the shadows seemed alive and the air hung heavy with ancient magic. Deep within the woods, Evelyn came across a stone altar. There, a figure cloaked in black waited, a being not of this world, known only as the Veiled One. "Do you seek him?" the Veiled One whispered, its voice like the rustling of leaves in a storm. Evelyn, her heart breaking, nodded. "I'll do anything." The Veiled One revealed to her the terms of the pact. Lord Cadwyn would be returned, but his life was not hers to save alone. The cost would be shared. On the night of her wedding, she was to wear a veil dipped in the Veiled One's enchanted blood-red silk. The magic and the crimson threads would bind Cadwyn's fate to hers for eternity, but with a catch. Every time someone dared to lift the veil to reveal her face, a piece of her soul would be claimed by the veil itself, until nothing remained but an empty bride of shadows. Evelyn, driven by love and desperation, agreed. The following morning, Lord Cadwyn was found wandering just outside the forest's edge, dazed and alive, but his eyes had a distant haunted look, as if he had glimpsed something beyond the veil of reality. On the night of their wedding, Hollowstone gathered to witness the marriage of Lord Cadwyn and the mysterious bride. Evelyn arrived at the ceremony adorned in the crimson veil, her face hidden behind its shimmering blood-red hue. The guests murmured in awe at the beauty of the veil, but none dared touch it, for there was an unspoken unease in the air. As the ceremony progressed, Cadwyn's curiosity grew. He had not seen his bride's face since his return, and though he was told of the veil's power, he could not resist. When the vows were exchanged, he reached out with trembling hands and lifted the veil. In that moment, a gust of wind swept through the chapel, and the veil's enchantment stirred. As her face was revealed, the once radiant and joyous bride transformed before their eyes. The veil pulsed, shimmering like fresh spilled blood, and Evelyn's eyes darkened, her skin paling until it seemed to glow with an otherworldly light. Cadwyn gasped, dropping the veil, but it was too late. A scream of anguish filled the room as Evelyn's soul began to drain into the crimson silk. She turned to him, her face twisted with sorrow. "I warned you," she whispered, her voice barely a breath. "The veil is now bound to me. And to you." Lord Cadwyn fell to his knees, begging for forgiveness, but the enchantment could not be undone. Evelyn disappeared before his eyes, becoming nothing more than a ghostly figure, forever trapped within the crimson veil. For centuries, the veil passed through the hands of brides who wore it, each hoping to unravel the mysteries within. None succeeded. Each time it was lifted, another soul was claimed, and the legend of the crimson veil grew darker. Some say that if you look closely enough, you can still see Evelyn's face in its shimmering silk, and her whispered plea echoes through the air. "Do not lift the veil, or you too will vanish into the crimson." To this day in Hollowstone, the veil remains locked away, but some say it still calls to those who dare to seek the mysteries hidden within its folds. It waits for a new bride, a new soul to claim. Would you be the one to lift it? For in the veil, nothing is ever as it seems. Subscribe the channel to get new story.